Hi guys. Well, today I've been in the van for a few hours. I'm just about to call it quits so I can go pick up my kids from school. I had a day off work today. So what I've been working on is fixing mistakes and working on the trim pieces to fill gaps. So what we have here is a sliding door covered over with insulation. And because of that, there is a large gap here, about 1.5 inches. I decided to use the space. It's already well insulated under there. I think in its parts I might even have 4 inches of rigid insulation, which is kind of overkill. It's like R20. But, so I didn't want to put more insulation in. I wanted to use the space. So in order to make that happen, I had to get a little bit creative. So what I did here was have these strips of Luan, and the gap is right to a little there, so I glued the strip on to cover the gap towards the edge. And then I have 1 there, 2, 3, and then 4 up here. So and once I did that, I took these 1/4 inch pieces. And right now it's still setting and being glued down, so I can't move it. But eventually all this tape will come off, of course. And all these L brackets are holding it in place while the glue sets. The glue that I recommend using is this PL Premium. It's like basically construction grade adhesive, and it's really strong. In fact, it's so strong that you'll rip the wood before you break the joint where the glue is. So definitely recommended. Just don't get it on your fingers. So that's going to be drying, and I got this other section here to fix, which I'm going to do tomorrow once it's all dry and I can take all this stuff off. Maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, I don't know. And what else that I did was I put these pieces on over here, just like on the other side where I have the plywood. I put these 2 pieces on. It was originally 1 piece, but the curve was so bad that it wasn't gonna. It was gonna leave a huge gap underneath the plywood. So I thought I'm just gonna break it in half, cut it in half, and then it'll fit to the curve better, which it did. And then the last thing I did was I put this little. If you can see it up there, it's a 1 inch. I took a piece of 1.5 inch plywood, and then I cut 1 inch strip off of it all the way down. That's about 43 inches long. And then luckily my idea was, because it's 1 inch, it'll follow the curves of the van roof, which it did. And then that one spot, it wasn't lining up properly, so I just cut it off. And this whole area in here, from here, let's see if I can show my finger, from here over is where there's going to be a cabinet. So from there over to there, there's going to be a cabinet there, and there's going to be the drinkable water storage right here, and then underneath on the floor is going to be the gray water. And then I'm going to have a closing cabinet of some sort. Maybe I'll put my jacket and some big sweaters in there and stuff. So I don't really care if it doesn't look that great in the inside, but I still will fix that top. And then I'm going to put another beam of plywood on the top here. Let's see if I can pull it out here. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. And then this will go up here like that. Once it's all in, hopefully it'll look decent. But I'm not going to bring it all the way across like I did on the other side. I'm going to bring it to right about there, and then all this from here on in, this is going to be storage. So I want to maximize that space as much as possible. And that's like a 3/4 inch thick. So kind of a waste of space. Anyway, it's pretty warm in this van. I've been in here for about 4 hours working away at this. Over between the door and the shelf, there's some yoga mats. I got about 4 of them. A friend of mine gave me those, and they're a little bit stinky, but I washed them. And I'm going to use that for the gray side is going to be facing out. I'm going to put it in the partition wall on the cab area because there's some imperfections in my work that I need to cover. And I think it's going to be easier than just painting it. Anyway, not sure what else I could say. Well, another thing about the vans with the Fords, all things being equal, if I had a choice between a Ford, Chevy, and a Dodge, and they're all mechanically the same, they're all about the same price, the Ford would actually be third on my list, just due to the fact of the way the walls are built, because of all the curves and divots and stuff, where the Chevys and Dodges, they just have the ribs going straight up and down. The Dodges are, I think, even a bit straighter than the Chevys. So if you're going to build out a van, it's easier just to have straight ridges, or not straight ridges, straight ribs. It makes it easier. And that's part of the reason I ended up with this little issue. So that's something to think about. Anyway, I'm not sure what else I can say. I'm not that far away from painting. I gotta finish. These strips up here. I'm probably just gonna take those screws out, cut a piece of 1/8 Luan, and then glue it all the way across the top, and then put the screws back in and paint over it. Because I thought of putting like some fancy pine trim there or whatever, but the problem is I'm almost touching the ceiling with my head. Like, good thing I have bad posture because I don't touch it, but if I sit up straight, my head touches the roof or the ceiling. So I want to have as little thickness as I can on those trim pieces that are going to go over the seams, and same with this one here. So, which means I'm just going to use the Luan. I have it anyway. I got some extra stuff I can use for that. So that's the plan, and that's probably going to be my next step. And then I'll finish up a few more trim pieces, I think, and then I'm not that far from painting. And once I paint, then it's onto the bed and building out the kitchen area. And then lastly, the door. I'm going to put the door in last, I think, because I'm just going in and out of there all the time, and it's going to be in the way. I'm going to just put that on a piano hinge. Also want to thank YouTuber Daydrifter for her comment. She suggested just sticking a thick piece of foam in the windows. There's going to be a window here, obviously, and there's going to be another window here in the door itself. And that's actually a good idea, to stick foam in there, like a couch cushion foam. Maybe put it in a pillowcase or something. Because my original idea was to have it hinged so that it comes up onto the ceiling. And then it would be just like easy to open and close. But the problem is my bed, see that says 15? That line is 15 inches from the floor, if this camera would focus. And that's cutting it close. I'd rather do 13 if I can. And that other line is 30. That's how wide my bed's going to be. Which means once I add my 8-inch memory foam on top, I'm not going to have that much room before my head starts getting close to touching the ceiling if I'm sitting up. So I'm going to experiment. I might still go for the hinged door thing, but I also like the idea of sticking some thick foam cushion things in there. The only thing is what to do with them once I'm not using them. I don't think I'd be able to fit them between the door and that wall there, because I only have about 2 inches of space. Maybe, I don't know. So that remains to be seen, and I'll look into that when I get there. Alright guys, I'm going to get going now. Take care and have a good night.